Hi, glad you're back. This is segment 4 in the first class of No More Hitting. And I want to thank you for kind of gathering up your courage to find a listening partner. Hand in Hand can help with this, perhaps, but good choices for a listening partner would be anybody that you kind of noticed that they could listen well. It's actually not hard. We all have this radar for who listens well, who really pays attention, who isn't totally wrapped up in their own story all the time. So you actually know good listeners, and they don't need to be parents. You know, it could be a favorite aunt of yours, perhaps, or it could be a really nice neighbor down the street, or it could be someone who's in your church or your temple who you've always thought was a really good person. You could ask for them to exchange listening time with you, perhaps. In general, it's better to try someone who isn't very, with you every day, because people we live with often have opinions about what we should be doing and why we should be doing it, and have criticisms that they are a little too happy to offer us. And really, a listening partner needs to be someone who can allow you to say what you need to say and who won't interrupt. And here's a chart of our guidelines for listening. The guidelines for listening are that you offer respect, you offer your warmth, you offer full 100% attention. You listen without kind of picking the lint off of your pants or without looking out the window to see what the birds are doing in the trees. You really focus in on the person, you gather everything you have, and you give them your 100% of your attention for the agreed upon amount of time. And if you have a hard time paying attention for a long period of time, then you set the listening time for 15 minutes and not more, because you're easily distractible. So you tailor what you do as a listening partner to how long you can pay attention. And you don't advise, you don't interrupt, you don't tell them your own story that is very much like the story they just told you. You don't tell them what to do, you don't pass judgment, you don't philosophize, oh well, boys will be boys. Or your listening partner is someone who won't say to you, well, I suppose that the things that are hardest for us are probably the lessons that we really need in life. We don't want someone to preach at you. You really want someone who's just interested in what you think and how you feel, and in supporting you while you explore that. So if you don't know that kind of person, or you're too shy to reach out to someone who's in your life already, you can join our discussion group online. And we have a little database in that discussion group in which people who want a listening partner have listed themselves and their email and their usual available times, and you can try listening over the phone. It is usually not as helpful as listening person to person. It's like actually some real person with you, caring about you, able to pay attention to you, is very, very powerful as a help. But you know what? If you can't find a person like that, try it over the phone with someone who also is interested in trying to figure out listening partnerships with Hand in Hand. So we might be able to help there. Actually, a further help would be to either call one of our consultants and get some listening time that way, or look online for one of our classes where we have listening groups for the parents in our classes every single class. So you would get listened to for at least a short amount of time every class that you take if you joined our Building Emotional Understanding class or one of our support groups online. So we have resources there. They may or may not be timed in a way that can help you or at the times you're available, but you can cook this resource up for yourself if you gather your courage and go out and ask. So, all right. The listening tool parent to child that we want to ask you to try in the next week, we call Special Time. This is a proactive tool. You're not going to wait for your child to hit and then try to do something about it. We're going to teach you a tool that helps to plump up your child's sense of safety and connection. It's like if your child is hitting, there are times when they're scared and they can't come and tell you about it. They just try to drive over their fears, but what happens is that they hit and they hurt in the meantime, because so much of their attention is managing the feelings inside of them that they simply can't think while they're playing. They just can't think. It's like they're managing a big wad of fear and there's no room left for thinking. And in order for you to help with that, they need to feel safe with you. And they already do, of course, to a great extent, because you're their mommy, you're their daddy, maybe you're their teacher. They already feel safe to a certain extent. But if they're not coming to you upset, they're hitting instead, then that safety could be increased. Could be increased to where eventually they'll be able to come and tell you they don't feel good before they lash out at somebody. That's what we're going for. So, the first thing we'd like you to do is to set up what we call special time for at least 10 minutes every day for the next week. And if there are 2 parents in the family and each of you can do this, or if there are 3 siblings in the family, one of you can hang out with the 2 while one of you does special time with the child who is hitting. And maybe they get the special time every night, for the first week, and then you spread it around among the other children. But you want, for your hitter, you want at least 10 minutes of special time. And what special time is time where you're concentrating on connecting and your child gets to do whatever they want to do. They lead you in the relationship. They show you what they want. Whatever they want to do is what you're enthusiastic to do. So you put aside your tiredness, you put aside your, I just don't know what to do with you. You put all that aside and you go, okay, tonight after dinner we're going to have 10 minutes. You can think what you want to do, and when it's time for special time you can tell me, and for 10 minutes we'll do whatever you want. And you bring some enthusiasm to this, and what you also want to do is bring an open mind. It's like children can only show you new things about themselves when your mind is ready to see or hear or understand or notice something new. They may not show you something new, but you need to be open to that so that they can tell that you're expectant and you don't have an agenda. You're not going, oh, he's going to want to play airplanes. He wants to play airplanes every night, and I'm sure we're going to have to play airplanes again. It's like that kind of thought. You want to move to as far to the side as you can, and you go, what do you want to do? And your child goes, airplanes. And you go, okay. So that you're not grinding along, oh God, we have to play airplanes again. So that that's not your attitude. So open your attitude, throw open your windows. It's only 10 minutes. Set your timer. Set the timer on your phone or on your stove. Set your timer, start it, and when the timer goes off, special time is over. And you do what your child wants. You don't judge it, and you don't tell them what to do. No instruction, no, well, honey, that's upside down. Let's try it the other way, okay? This is the proper way to do it. If your child wants to, work with the toy or work with the thing upside down, let them work with it upside down. It's really all right. If they want to run through the house, and take off all their clothes and run through the house, then you go, all right, and enjoy it, If they want to go outside and it's raining and they don't want to put on their shoes, Mommy, I want to go outside, and they run outside barefoot, you put on your rubber boots and go right outside after them. They want to be barefoot, let it be. If they get cold, they'll tell you. So let them lead. Let it be 10 minutes. When the timer goes off, what you want to do is end with warmth. You don't want to go, okay, that's the end of your special time. I've got to make dinner, and turn around and walk off. Not like that. It's like, oh, sweetie, come here, that was really good. Oh, we'll do this again tomorrow, okay? So it's 10 minutes of 100% of you. And that means that if there's a shovel, a little garden shovel inside, and your child is streaking outside to do special time outside, you don't stop, look at the shovel, pick it up, and take it outside where it belongs. You don't do anything but be with your child. No multitasking. no running lists through your mind while they're, asking you to play baseball with them. Now, what this does over time is it helps a child feel seen. It helps a child, feel understood. It helps a child trust that it just feels like love to a child to have special time from a parent. It doesn't have to be a lot of time. Just a little bit on a daily basis will allow your child to feel safer. And what probably will happen 90% of the time is that after several special times, or maybe even after the very first one, at the end of special time or shortly after, your child will find a reason to cry. They'll find a reason to be disappointed. They'll find a reason not to like the toast that you gave them as a evening snack. They'll find a reason to get all upset, before bedtime because a drop of water fell on their jammies and they couldn't possibly go to bed after the drop of water fell. And they're crying and crying, and inside your mind you're going, oh no, I just gave you special time. What is this about? And what this is about, this crying that happens after special time, is that the safety of being connected to you allows them to try to offload some of what's in their emotional backpack, some of the tensions of the day, some of the worries they have, some of the fears that actually drive their hitting behavior and their other difficult behaviors. Because you made things safer, because you were happy with them for a whole 10 minutes like that and let them do what they wanted to do, this sense of safety grew, and it forces, whatever feelings are kind of sitting inside, rumbling around, causing trouble at various times during the day, to come forward. We're not going to talk to you a whole lot about stay listening, but go ahead and read the booklet on special time so you've got an idea, a little fuller idea of what special time is like. And be ready for crying to happen. Be ready for crying to increase in your family in the next week as you do this special time. This will be a good outcome, not a bad outcome, because this means that your child is really making fresh attempts to release feelings that are niggling and bothering and making things hard underneath the surface time and time again during the day. So we'll talk a little bit more about what to do in the meantime with hitting. I don't want to leave you with no remedy for hitting, so in the next segment we'll talk about what to do about the hitting behavior itself. Between now and next week, when we'll talk more about, curbing the hitting behavior. We really want to concentrate on listening for you, special time for your child, and just a few quick pointers about the hitting behavior for this class. We want you to do your experiments, and we'll talk in full about stay listening, another parent-child tool for the second class.